What is happening, y'all? It is a whole new world. We're starting over. I might even delete the old podcast, but we're trying to steer a little bit away from politics. They might come up here and there, but for the most part, I don't give a fuck. I don't want any of it in my life. The part that made all of our lives so hard and is now past, or getting past, we should say, as long as nothing else goes wrong, it's done. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. Our lives should be getting better from here on. If you don't agree with me, this ain't your fucking page. Go suck a dick. That's what you people are known for. Leave us alone. Now, how the fuck has y'all's season been? My season has been hard, to say the least. That is probably putting it in the most blatant, weak-ass way. It has been the worst season of my life as far as my season. Now, the kids, they've all had a great season. They literally all tagged out. They all killed a buck. First shot, I don't think any of them missed this year. Like a perfect, Jack's had more hunts than anybody under his belt. He worked way harder for it. He finally did get his little half-rack buck. We're super excited. Just got that deer fully processed. Gonna be making some jerky. Gonna be making some burger jerky. We already made some steaks with it. Gonna be making tons of meals. But we got, I don't know, 4 or 5 deer. I think 5 deer is what we got this year. So the freezer's doing decent, but we have a couple more tags to fill. I'm gonna still try to get out and fill my last 2 tags. I was really, really conservative with how I hunted this year. And I tried to focus on bucks since the kids were filling the freezers. I only killed 1 doe, and now we're down to just bow season until the first Sunday of January. So I might try, if I don't get a buck, I might try to find a reduction zone and just start knocking on doors. We're literally, I think, a mile from where the reduction zone starts. So we'll see. That might be the route I go if I can't get a buck. I've gotten close. I had snake bite. For those of you who follow, I had snake bite. I was trying to be patient, and I had him at about 40, which I really don't like to shoot much past that. Not with my bow anyways. So I elected to move too slow, and he ended up walking out of my window and pretty much out of my life. I've hardly got him on camera since. And then I had another buck that I was hunting, obviously the big buck. You guys know that story if you follow me. Big public land 16. I dedicated a lot of my season to him. Come to find out, he ended up dying not long after I was hunting him, and I found him dead. So I wasted a lot of time looking for a deer in the prime time of season. So had to etch sketch what I was doing, start over. The other big buck I was hunting, he kind of disappeared around the same time, which he disappeared right around gun season. Never seen him again. Still hasn't been back on camera. So I'm assuming he's got poked and he's out of the game. I've kind of switched up my game and found an 8-point. He's not huge. He's probably 130, 135. That's more than enough for me, especially late in the game. So that was where I was putting all my time. And I ended up having an encounter with the goofy 10 that came in the food plot on me and Tiffany. He came in with a little 10-pointer and 2 other small bucks. So I had 4 bucks, one that I never seen. There might have been 5. But I could hear him, and I never got to see him, and I had just got in my tree. I just got my camera arm up. I hadn't even pulled my gun up. I was running about 5-10 minutes behind. Heard steps coming. I couldn't tell where it was at. It sounded dang there underneath me, so I just didn't want to pull my gun up and spook him. And then I heard another thing, and it was behind me. It ended up being a 10-pointer, so I had a 2-year-old 10 come in. He came in within 10 yards. He was looking right at me, looking right at the gun. Never spooked. He just was weird, And then he walked a circle around a bush, walked away from me, got the attention of this other buck, so I tried pulling out my gun. Sure enough, he seen it when it was spinning, coming out the side of the tree, because I was kind of behind it. And, he just kind of walked over the hill. I was trying to get him on camera, self-filming, thicker than hell in there. And he got through my window before I could get a shot. He ended up getting over in this one spot where I still had a window, but there were 4 bucks standing in one spot with the sun right on my face. I literally couldn't tell which buck was which. I knew there was only 2 decent bucks, and the other ones were little, 6-point a spike, I think. But basically, I was working my ass off trying to get that to happen, and I'd have to zoom way in and get underneath the sun, and I just couldn't tell which buck was which, so I didn't shoot. And yeah, that cost me muzzleloader season. So after going through all the bow, going through all the gun, then like another week of bow, and then another 2 weeks of muzzleloader, now we're at the tail end of this mess, and it has whooped me. I've been exhausted the whole time, just grinding it, just trying to make it worth it. Just one more try, just get up. You're not going to kill them in the house, Worked. It didn't happen. But, like I said, we got about 2 weeks left, a little bit less. We have a lot of rain in the forecast, which our weather apps here, I don't know what's wrong with them. Yesterday it said it was going to rain all day. I wake up, it didn't even rain. I think it sprinkled like midday. Like irritating as hell. I should have been in the tree, and instead I was at home. So I processed a deer instead. Just pull them out of the freezer and I process them as I go. The ones that didn't get processed immediately anyways. And yeah, so at least I didn't waste my time, but I'm running out of time to kill a buck. Like, I've been passing a lot of deer. I've passed a lot of does this year. I've still got a doe tag, so I'm about to fill one, first chance I get. But these cold days, December, is hard for me to want to get up in a tree with a bow and grind it out anymore. I'm just exhausted. But that's that. It is what it is. It's been fun. It's been not fun. It's been a little bit of both. But yeah, so that's deer season so far. I don't really have a whole lot of options other than 2-3 little properties I hunt. There's some public, but public, you know how public is. It's already been beat to hell at this point. Those deer are really hard to find. If you can find them, they're pretty far back. It's a lot more work, and that's if you find out that no one else is hunting it. Every little spot that I've been checking has other people hunting. So I think I'm kind of secluded to the few little places I can hunt, hoping before season goes out that something is just going to line up. But if it don't, it is what it is. I've tried, I've worked. And that's hunting, I guess, not killing, as they like to say. I wish it was killing, because holy hell, 3 months of this is a little rough. But, you know, this is what happens when you film. This is what happens when you actually try to target a buck. I passed a 135, 140-inch 8-pointer. He was tight, but he's real heavy, real tall. Looking back, I wish I would have shot that deer, but I've done that a couple years in a row now, I think, where I passed a really good buck thinking, you know, the ones that I'm actually after, the bigger ones, are going to give me a chance, and they just don't. I end up regretting not shooting the bird in the hand buck, as we'll go with. But it is what it is. So I guess instead of deer, let's talk some, it's not local, but we're going to talk some like culture, some pop culture or whatever the fuck. Y'all know Ryan Upchurch. We all were big fans of Upchurch. Everybody that I know around here, like, I'm not saying we lost our shit over Upchurch. He's not ever been that, but he's always been good. Like, he's been pretty good. Well, his downfall is on his own. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. No one is out here to get this dude. He's paranoid as hell. I'm a big fan of all these guys, but then I'm sitting here watching over all these years, and I'm very observant, so I'm watching the whole gig. Who's doing what, who's acting what way, what's going which way. We all seen this coming. If you didn't, I got bad news for you. You're not very perceptive as a human being. But we could see this coming with the Upchurch, the Adam Calhoun, I guess Jelly Roll's involved and shit, but like, it's really mostly just those two guys. And we all kind of seen the tension building. Upchurch has this fucking mentality that he's some goddamn legend. Like, bro, calm down. You're good. You're great in some songs. But the whole midnight, 3 a.m. shit where you're posting videos that make you look like you're on fucking hard drugs, some of the shit, this dude is absolutely fucking loony. Loony. Like he's lost his fucking shit. His marbles are in someone else's bag. But then, other times, he says shit and it's like, well, clearly he's sober today. Clearly he knows what he's talking about today. Clearly he has a really good point on some subjects. But then on other subjects, it's like, dude, We're the same age. We're fucking almost mid-30s, and you're sitting here acting like you've went through it. I'm sorry, but dude, you got rich pretty early in life, okay? This happens with a lot of rappers, and I know you guys are going to get offended, but you can get the fuck over it because you're wrong. And here's the breakdown. You went through it maybe in your early years, maybe in your teens. That was 15, 20 years ago, okay? How? I'm just I'm mind blown. It's way too early for this shit. Mind blown that these people will sit here and act like they went through it until their late teens, become rappers and get a lot of money, a lot of fans. You got women throwing pussy at you. You got dudes wanting to hang out with you. You got new friends here and there. You got to weed them out like everybody else weeds out normal friends. But then these dudes act like they've went through it. We had such a hard life. You don't know what I've been through. Dude, you don't know what normal people go through. You have no fucking idea, because from the get-go, right out of your childhood life, you got into money. Yeah, you had to work for it. All of us have to work for our money. The difference is most of us don't have much. It doesn't matter what we do unless we are singers of some form, or rappers, or some crazy artist who paints shit that's selling for $250,000 or some shit. We had to work and struggle. Some people literally kill themselves because it's way too much, especially in the last 4 years. We've all seen a bunch of people go completely gray, especially men, going extremely gray, bald, or wore out, people killing themselves. It's tough. But when you have millions or hundreds of thousands, no matter however successful you are as a rapper, you can't sit here and say you've had it way harder because a couple people screwed you over. Do you know how many people screw poor people over? The same fucking amount. The difference is you've got a lot more money. A lot more money. More wiggle room, more shut the fuck up room, more cut people off room. You don't have the right to sit here and act like you've went through it. All these fucking rappers, all of them, they have daddy issues, A. That's the biggest flaw, is the daddy issues in the rap community. But then they turn around, and every one of them are these real men who went through it, but they only went through it at the beginning of their life. From then on, it was fucking cake, other than your own self-inflicted bullshit. Come on. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm trying to bring some form of enlightenment to what normal people go through, because you motherfuckers out here making millions, making hundreds of thousands, and then millions, whatever it is, you don't have a clue. Most people don't make 100,000 in a year. Most people make about 60 to 70,000 if they're lucky. The majority of that goes into bills. It goes into transportation to go get the money for those bills. You have to go work. That costs money. They don't pay you for that. Okay? We lose, and the only success we're getting is little stuff. Maybe a new car, maybe a new house if you're really lucky, maybe a new remodel of some kind. Maybe you can only afford a new bow. Maybe you can only afford a pack of fucking batteries. Bitch, you don't know what the fuck people are going through. So then I sit back and I watch all this shit, because as a fan, and the internet being like it is, you see this stuff playing out. And you're seeing all these people that are big friends, blah, blah, blah. Well, they start to separate because they start winding each other with shit. This guy says this about that guy says this about that guy, or they say something to a friend and the friend twists it. We all know there ain't nothing but motherfucking snakes in y'all's grass. Nothing but snakes. If you want real friends, you've got to stop being a real bitch. Stop thinking that you've went through it in life and that all these millions aren't really cushioning all the blows. Come on. You motherfuckers are sitting here like you fucking died at Pearl Harbor, came back, saved your fucking grandma from the floods. Dude, settle the fuck down. Relax. You've got way more money than you even understand what to do with. I'm fully aware of all the little things it costs, all the little things you got to do, all the people you got to pay. But when you're doing everything you're doing and you have all this money you brag about, you've got the money. So complaining about it makes no fucking sense. When you have all the money in the world and you're still doing nothing but complaining, you're doing something wrong. But back on track here, we watch Upchurch have his climb, but then he starts to decline as he starts talking about dumb shit. He starts bringing up dumb shit. He has little mental wars with little YouTubers, people who are literally nobody. Like, maybe it's planned or something, I don't know. But he'll have little wars with people that are nobody. And it's like, dude, what's the point? Like that something gobbler guy or turkey guy or whatever the fuck that one was like 2 years ago. It was funny at parts, but you're having a millionaire argue with a pretty much bum back and forth on YouTube. It didn't make any fucking sense. And then there was this back and forth with, oh, he's against me and me's against he, and what the fuck sense does it make? Y'all were best goddamn friends, doing fucking hilarious videos, doing rap videos, doing stage fucking appearances, doing every little thing together. And then obviously as men, as adults, your jobs are gonna kind of separate you. But as men, you gotta communicate instead of fucking back and forth bullshit and becoming a problem with each other. And then you got little communities of people who are now hating on the other dude because they're so fuck up your ass. They're just, I don't even know. These people are like cucks for each other. It's like, dude, you shouldn't cuck on any fucking famous person for any reason whatsoever. Period. It makes you look pathetic. Especially when they're jumping on shit that months ago they were all about it. They're all about this other rapper. But now they're like, fuck you, you fucking Craig Squad or some shit like that. No one fucking cares about the little groups y'all are in. No one cares about any of that. None of you even do the same shit you did to get famous. All the mudding and the fun, all that shit that you used to do that made you relatable. You sit in your fucking room, half on drugs half the time, doing weird videos, doing good videos, doing some music, but then you sit there and you call yourself a legend this, a legend that. Here, every legend's been through it. Not every one of those motherfuckers called themselves a legend. Just you. I find it weird that you keep calling yourself a fucking legend when you're still in your 30s. You're in no way, shape, or form a legend. You made some music. You made some good music. You even made some bad music. You got to own up to that too. But you're not going to sit here and call yourself a legend with these little spews on the internet where half the time you're fucked up, the other half the time you're being weird, the other half the time you're acting like a tough guy who don't ever meet up with anybody. I don't give a fuck who you are. If we have a problem and they want to meet up, let's fucking meet up. But it's going to be a real fight or a real talk, whichever one you want. These little pussies out here who act all tough, nowadays they want to meet up with you and fucking stab you because they got little fucking baby dicks and no balls at all. Those aren't men. Those are little boys who are afraid of everybody knowing they got their ass beat. Are you one of those? I know plenty of them around here. It makes no fucking sense, but if you're going to be on the internet and you're going to rap talk big and you're going to talk big and you're going to threaten everybody, maybe back it up. Maybe stop hiding behind a computer. Maybe actually meet up with each other and have a fucking adult conversation and just get the fuck over it. Because we all know Upchurch and Adam Calhoun were good friends. They were good friends for a reason. Unless from the very beginning they didn't like each other and was just hiding it from each other, then it doesn't make any sense. You guys need to shake your fucking bullshit off, walk up to each other, man to man, face to face, shake hands, go sit down, smoke a blunt, and fucking talk about it. This bullshit where you're crying about it ain't fixing it. It's just not. Sitting here acting tough, motherfucker. Where are you tough? Do a push-up or two. You've gotten titties. You went from skinny Upchurch to a dude with boobs. You can't sit here and act like you're tough anymore. I want to respect these motherfuckers. I want to sit here and have nothing but respect. And I used to. But you sit here and watch it and it's like, what the is this fucking Jerry Springer? Is it like, this shit's mental. It's fucking mental. There's no point in these two dudes arguing at all. Upchurch needs to get off whatever shit he's doing at night, whether it's drugs or just losing his fucking shit. I don't know if money causes that. I've never been rich, so I don't know if money causes insanity. It might. All I'm saying is, it's It's completely avoidable. It's completely childish. It's completely ignorant. It makes no sense to most people, but plenty of other people are talking about it, so I might as well talk about it too. I've watched dozens of podcasts where they're bringing it up. So why not? Let's put some actual perspective in here. I'm not a rapper of any kind. I'm a fucking, we'll call myself a hillbilly in the outdoors who likes to hunt, likes to fish. My whole YouTube is hunting, fishing, some skits here and there, some bullshit. But it's not me doing drugs in the middle of the night and talking some complete crazy nonsense and then the next day, sober as fuck, doing a video that makes perfect fucking sense. Like, dude, I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm saying half the time you're on fucking drugs or something. The whole fucking YouTube gets to see it. You post it for the world to see. I even think maybe you're the one that edits it up. So you recorded yourself, you edited your video, and you posted it, and you never fucking seen a problem? Bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Now I'm not on this one fucking, I'm not just attacking Upchurch either, because Adam Calhoun has plenty of problems the same as anybody else. But he's been more mature about this. He's trying to go a different route, and they're acting like it's some smear Upchurch campaign. No one fucking cares, dude. You're smearing yourself. They don't even have to. They're doing their own fucking thing. It's not, let's all get together and fucking circle jerk while hating on Upchurch. That's not what's happening. You think that's what's happening because you're so isolated to yourself that you think the rest of these people fucking care. Dude, you're starting shit with them. They're realizing it, and they're like, dude, let's just do this thing for all country rappers. We're not trying to disclude anybody. We're not trying to isolate nobody. You isolated your fucking self, bro. You're hiding in your fucking whatever house you have, because you claim you have so many, again with the money shit, but you hide behind your house, behind your security, behind your fan base, behind Creek Squad, behind whatever other little group y'all have. You hide. Grow up. Grow the fuck up, dude. Walk out of your house, stretch your little fucking flabby arms, become a man, call up your old homeboy, say, listen, bro, we need to talk in person, man to man, no cameras. Settle this shit. You guys aren't going to fist fight. Neither one of you naturally are fist fighters. I don't give a fuck what Adam Calhoun says. He is not just going around fist fighting people. You know it. I know it. He knows it. Everybody in the fucking community knows it. Yeah, he probably could hold himself to an extent, but he didn't beat the rainbow-haired dude in the fucking streets. They both got a couple licks in, but neither one of them won. So come on. Why are you sitting here acting like he's going to beat you up? Fucking have a conversation like two grown men, or shut the fuck up, because the internet's not a place for you to have 50 fucking videos about fucking hating on somebody, 50 fucking videos about arguing with some gobbler guy, some crackhead in your fucking community. You don't need all these videos to argue back and forth. If you want to be a legend like you claim you are, make good music, set a better example, be a stronger, more representable role model for both your fans, kids, your family, friends, whatever the fuck it is. You're doing it wrong. I'm just saying it because everybody's not saying it. I'm not kissing anybody's ass. I like all these guys. I'm a big fan of all these motherfuckers. My fucking YouTube, you can look at my history, and it's just days and days and days and days and days of me listening to this music while I work, while I'm in my garage, just while I'm doing shit in the house. I'm listening to y'all's music constantly, all of you. It's not fuck one person. If like that Gator dude, I don't give a fuck about him. I don't like his music. I don't. I like Adam Calhoun. I like Broadnecks. I like Upchurch. I like some Jelly Roll. I'm more into kind of people that remind me of myself a bit. Now, we all have little features of each other because we're humans, but I feel like me and Adam Calhoun would get along really well. Maybe we wouldn't, but I feel like we would. But at the same time, I would still call him on his bullshit because that's what you're supposed to do. If I was his friend, I'd be like, hey, you're fucking up, man. You'll be doing this. And if I was Upchurch's friend, hey, dude, I know you're not going to like what I got to say, but Everything I just fucking said. He would hate it. If he had to sit down and listen to me talk, he would hate it. He probably wouldn't even believe it because he's in his loony world of legendary legacy that he's working on. Which is whatever, dude. One day you will be a legend. It ain't today. It's not fucking today. You're going to have to quit talking all this legend shit because you're not. There's poor people way more legendary, completely unknown. 2 or 3 people know their legendary status. You ain't that. Legendary status comes when you shut the fuck up about it. Comes when you work, you build, you create, you design. You have to make an empire that matters, not an empire that crumbles. Everything you build seems to come crashing down. Everything you come up with, you kind of self-sabotage it with the way you act or the way you're thinking people are going against you. Some people are, I'm sure, because you have money. But you invite those snakes to your grass. They don't just show up. You invite them. You have to understand, with great power comes great responsibility. Some Spider-Man shit. If you got all this money and all these abilities to help people, to do things, to help yourself, whatever, you can't be such a fucking dickneck. You can't. You can't sit back and act like you're this almighty fucking rapper. You're almighty legendary rapper. No, dude. You're a regular fucking person. A regular person who got lucky in your teens and the world kissed your ass all the way up until now. And now you don't like it. Because now people are like, hey, this guy's, what the fuck? Fix the little shit and all of your fucking fans will come right back. Because we're not gone. We still listen to your music. We're just not listening to you right now. Because you're fucking ate up. You need to settle the fuck down. Figure out what's going on in your head. Figure out why it's going on. Talk to your friends instead of bashing them on the internet. And vice versa. Same thing with you, Adam. You need to be a little bit more direct with communication. And I've watched your videos, so I know you have been, to an extent, definitely more mature than Upchurch has. But you can't sit here and say that you're not guilty of some things, because you're just as guilty in certain aspects of this whole situation. Now, I know you've tried to drift away. Obviously, that's the being the bigger man part, and I respect that. Rather than fight back, because he did this whole threaten you shit on the internet, and he expected you to fucking bow down to him or some shit. I don't know what that was, but he didn't. And I respect that. He kind of just turned the other cheek and walked away from it, did his own thing, kept doing his own videos that had nothing to do with Upchurch, because he's not trying to feed into it. He's not trying to let him bounce his name off of him and create any revenue off of that. And that's understandable. Because this isn't it's not a fucking game. It's not a reason to come up with fake beefs or whatever, create little issues to have little internet spews. None of this should fucking matter. Y'all should literally grow a fucking pair of balls, shake each other's hand, and have a conversation. Maybe all of you, everybody involved. You were talking shit about Just in Time the other day. Dude, another podcaster I know was also talking shit about Just in Time the other day, and this same motherfucker is the one that talked Just in Time up to me, because I didn't know anything about Just in Time, and he didn't have the vibe that I was reading, like, hell yeah, that's a real man. He didn't have that vibe to me. I just felt like he was exactly what he is. He's kind of a rapper, but a lot more of a promoter. And that's what I seen. I seen a promoter. I seen a guy using promoting abilities to become something. And then he kind of rapped, as he went. But you're sitting here, now I got this other guy talking shit who used to talk him up solely because all of a sudden Upchurch is not about it. It's not how this works, dude. It's not. I don't give a fuck. All these people were friends. All these people talked each other up. All these people convinced people to like them. Convinced other fans to become their fan. All of them. Big Murph, all of them. So why the fuck are they turning on each other so fast? Because they're boys who have problems, and it could be every one of them have father problems, but a lot of them have father problems. Eminem, just about any other rapper you can come up with in your head, think about it, they got daddy issues. If you got daddy issues in this world, you're either a girl with OnlyFans or a guy who raps. That's the most real fucking statement you guys have ever heard. Think about it. But whatever. I'm just tired of watching it. Like, I want to go back to listening to good music, not half-ass music that he thinks is good, and not fucking music bashing the other guy. I want to listen to you people make good music with each other again. Real music. That would be legendary. If y'all sucked it the fuck up, hugged it the fuck out. Legendary. What real men do, they get the fuck over their feelings, just make shit happen. Yeah. That's what we want. You know what I mean? As a fan base wants to see the people that they kind of bounced off each other becoming fans of this person, of that person, of that person, of that person through a network. They want to see them all work together again, not work against each other. No one wants to see the crash of friendships. No one really wants to see that. It's not something I click on. I'm like, hell yeah, new drama. No, we don't give a fuck about the drama. I hate drama. I try to sit back and mind my own fucking business, hunt, chase deer, get my ass whooped by a bitter cold season that has not been very nice. But then this shit just keeps coming up. And instead of getting new good music to listen to, I'm just hearing your guys' fucking arguments and then hearing other people step in and they're like, I'm siding with this guy and I'm siding with this guy, and then they jerk each other off. No. Quit siding with people you don't even fucking know. Quit it. It makes no fucking sense. They both have flaws. They both have issues. One a little more than the other at the moment, but it can change. All that can change. And if they ever get to see this video, I know I'm just a nobody to you. I'm well aware I'm not some famous fucking rapper. I'm not some rich millionaire. I'm not some CEO. I'm just some guy who likes to hunt and fish and is chasing a YouTube career of hunting and fishing. Maybe a little comedy. That's kind of where I started in life, was a class clown, being funny, whatever. But at the end of the day, this is where I'm at right now. I'm filming podcasts and hunts, and usually I'm in the woods this time of day. Usually for the last 80 days or some shit like that, I've been in the fucking woods. So to sit here and just not have anything good when I get home instead of drama, it just irritates me. Otherwise, this ain't my fucking business. This really isn't my business. But from a fan, from a fellow YouTuber, whatever the fuck, from an outside point of view, this is what people see. This is what I see. I consider myself somebody with common sense. I'm not your average everyday jackass out here pretending to be a smart adult. There's no need to pretend in this world. You can tell. All the fakers out there pretending they're good parents. All the fakers out there pretending they're good men, pretending they're good women. That's bad news for you, buddy. The world can tell. Especially people like me. We're perceptive. We can understand a little bit more of reality around these environments, around these people, around just their aura, who they are, shines through. Some people are completely blinded by it. Just the flash, like, yeah, I love this person. They're so great. Other people are like, no, that person's horrible. How does no one see it? I know you've all seen people like this where you're like, why the fuck does everybody love this motherfucker? They're a complete piece of shit. You've seen it. I've seen it. But then you understand when you see, oh, those people are kind of dumbasses. That's why they don't understand, because they don't have the perception, the reality to see what these people actually are, who they actually are, and what they actually do. They just go with the flash, blinded by ignorance. Now you know. But, I mean, I'm just some guy, some random dude. My opinion don't matter. But if it gets to y'all, I hope it does. I hope y'all understand. The world, your fan base, the community, everybody that watches this, they watch you guys, not my shit. They want to see no more bullshit. We just want to see fucking rap, dude. We want to see country. We want to see fucking hillbilly banjo songs. I don't give a fuck. All of it. We don't want to see the fucking drama. We don't want to see the crazy drugs at night. We don't want to see the weird shit. I'm cool with conspiracy theories. You can post all that you want, as long as they make fucking sense. Some of them are like, dude, what the fuck, are you on drugs or something? Of course. Other ones, you're like, oh, hell yeah. I was thinking this same thing, and then you watch it and you're like, damn, I didn't even know that. Like, oh, that makes perfect fucking sense. But it has to make sense. If they're posting videos and you're saying that shit to nonsense, you know, there's a lot of dumb motherfuckers out there and they will believe the dumb shit. But if you can't filter it and understand humans are fucking retarded, half of us are liars who make up shit. The other half are the ones who are trying to fill in the gaps of truth and reality. They're trying to, oh, all these liars around here doing this and this. Well, the truth's right here, not here and here. So you gotta fill in these little cracks and these gaps and create a real reality that's actually there and not blind yourself. Because we all blind ourselves, whether it's through religion, whether it's through just having a good heart, whether it's through you love somebody too much or you care about them too much so you don't want to see the bad in them. Well, the bad still exists whether you want to see it or not. It's unfortunate. No one's happy with that. But at the end of the day, that's just how it works. So, work on yourselves. I work on myself every day. I'm not a perfect person. I got plenty of flaws, but I'm constantly going, well, I need to work on this. Pointing out, oh, this is my flaw. How can I make that better? You know, whatever. I'm an angry person by nature. I use anger I used it for skateboarding. If I was having a bad time landing a trick, if I got mad enough, I would just fucking do it and I would land it. It's like a mental block that anger helped me break. Everybody's different. Some people are softer. Some people are happy-go-lucky. Some people are ignorant fools. Some people use anger, but we don't attack people. I might be an angry person for the way the world is and what we've all had to been through, and then all these blind motherfuckers out here still pushing the stupidity, and we're all like, did you not? Are we the only ones going through poverty? Is everyone else getting rich somehow? Well, yeah, some people. Unfortunately, some people can't see it. Some people don't want to see it. But the rest of us had to go through it. Some people lost their lives. A lot of people lost their business. Some people lost their homes. Most people couldn't pay their bills. I mean, it got to the point where people were just struggling. Some people are still trying to do a little extra here and there, but for the most part, they're just struggling. The majority of people I know, this year is the hardest year to buy gifts for their children because we're at the tail end of 4 years of the worst economy that I've lived through personally, and we went through 9/11 where it was just a crash. All of a sudden gas was like whoop. Well, that's what just happened. You basically 9/11'd us with a false idea, some bullshit. No one fucking believes that fucking senile old bag of farts won. No one. Look at Kamala. Gone. Gone. No fucking talk of this bitch. She lost, took her L with a smile, took all that money, gone. Call me fucking crazy, but I seen it. You seen it. The world's seen it. Bitch didn't give a fuck if she won or not. They knew they were losing. They were just taking that money. But at the end of the day, they don't suffer. We do. So, yeah, I use anger to get through every day. Certain days more than others. Some days I don't have to get angry at all. But that's just how it is. It's a human emotion. It's completely fucking normal. Some people use it more than others. Some people are completely fucking stupid. Y'all know them. Passive idiots. Plenty of them out there. But, you know, that's where I stand on all that bullshit. As far as everything else, I feel like besides the economy sucking total assholes and people having a really tough time struggling this year, bills being absolutely out of hand, fucking IDNR crooked, which any DNR is crooked as hell. We all know this. Anybody that cucks up on that is just kind of a dumbass, oblivious to facts because they don't actually hunt that much. Think they do, but they don't. Or they're people with a lot of money who money doesn't matter to them. You know what I mean? I know plenty of hunters like that. I know hunters that are so poor they can barely afford a tag. And then I know hunters who have so much money that they just see something they want and they buy it. May not even need it, may not even ever use it. But they'll buy shit, and then they're the ones out here acting like, oh, well, that's not so bad. That goes to this habitat, or that goes to that. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I've seen the habitat improvement. It's not improved. If anything, they kill ecosystems like on a whole other level to where it has to restart, and then they come in and kill it again within 4 or 5 years, so it never gets a full restart. That's essentially what's wrong with the entire world is everything's so corrupt, we've killed so much of this ecosystem. Think about highways. Highways alone create long paths, tons of them, all across the country, just wind paths. There's no trees to break it up. They've even cut the hills. They cut the hillsides out. They cut the rock out. Most of it's straight. Yeah, there's some, but for the most part, it's straight. Big, wide, some of them 3-lane on each side. That is a massive chunk of woods gone. Massive ecosystems that have to work around that. Ecosystems that now have to isolate because unless they want to move, they have to cross roads. Most of the time, they die. So whatever has to stay there stays there, and that's the ecosystem now. Maybe some birds bring in some shit. Maybe some crisscross, but for the most part, the ecosystem is now stagnant. It's stuck in a small area, here, with roads out here demolishing species. No one is out here killing box turtles. No one's out here stomping on a box turtle that I know of. I've met one kid in my entire life, and he was a cruel piece of shit all the way to an adult. I don't even know what happened to the guy. He's probably a loser. But this guy shot a turtle. I would never hurt a box turtle. I don't know anybody who would. But roads, because us human beings can't handle the idea of walking or riding a bike or riding a horse, we got to get there fast. We got to get there now. We have not figured out how we can use the air instead and save the entire planet, but we're going to keep pressing it, and ultimately the ecosystems are going to just die. You see spring when turtles come out of the ground and they start going to breed around, all that traveling, turtles are dead everywhere. Everywhere. You see turtles smashed on the road, and that's not even counting all the rest of the animals that get killed on the road. Hundreds of thousands of deer, if not towards the millions, annually. Possums, raccoons, turkeys, red-tailed hawk, tons of snakes, obviously. Pretty much everything protected that we're not going to hurt naturally, which, oh, I wouldn't even hurt that. They still are going to get killed by the roads, unintentionally or not. It's still happening. It's something as a human race we need to go, hey, we're kind of causing a lot more problems as one species with our selfish ways instead of figuring out easier, more efficient ways, instead of lying about what oil is, instead of fucking burning this and that. There were ways that worked for hundreds of thousands of years. All of our entire history, all the way up until using gas, we had efficient ways to move. Just because you want to get there in 5 minutes doesn't fucking matter. That shouldn't matter. As a person, as a creature from this planet, you should love the planet that you're on a little bit more. We're misguided. And I know a lot of you won't agree with this, but I don't agree with you, so we're in the same boat. But in my humble opinion, I firmly believe you're all very misguided on what God is. This earth is your God. This earth created everything on it. Everything here but us has instincts by nature. If a deer drops on the ground, it knows, I got to stand up. I've got to learn to walk immediately. It already knows somehow to go suck a tit. Even our babies kind of know that. Some of them don't. Some human babies are born incapable of sucking on a tit, which is us losing our fucking instinct. Because every deer born knows to suck on a titty. Every fucking one of them. Every other little animal that drinks milk from their mom knows it's born, suck a titty, get bigger, walk. These little things that are all instinct. They're instinctual favors that we don't have anymore. Our babies are little goo balls for months. They're pretty much useless. We literally have to coddle them so they will survive even to the point of walking and shit. And even then, they still have another year or two before they're more capable of other shit. We're just so far from reality anymore. We're so pulled away from it with comfort, from ACs to indoors to polluted water that we think is normal water. Everything is bullshit. We're just dumbing ourselves until we're this little retarded species. You throw us outside in the night and most people will get hypothermia and die in one night. They can't handle it. It's sad. But that's the reality we live in, is the majority of human beings will never understand that. They're still praising Sky Daddy, and guess what? That's not reality. That's an ideology that came along 1,200 years ago. There was ideologies before that. Multiple. You know how many fucking gods there are across history? These ones didn't exist then, these ones didn't exist then, and these ones didn't exist then. That means they're man-made as they go. Slight alteration, slight alteration, slight alteration, until we got the 100 and some odd we have now, or whatever it is, like 107 or some shit. Like, we got to quit thinking inside these humanity boxes of ideologies, of characters and BS. I will say, the hunting community, as torn as it is, the hunting community seems to hate each other. Oh, you hunt with a crossbow. Oh, you hunt with a gun. Oh, you hunt with a stick. Who gives a fuck what any of you do? Hunt with a rock. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. Like, what reality are you in that your fucking opinion on what somebody else does to hunt to fill the freezer, what reality are you fucking living in that you think that matters? What reality? Where does it matter that someone goes out and kills one with a bow versus with a gun, or with a crossbow versus with a bow, or with a recurve versus with a compound? Who fucking cares? Grow a pair of nuts, you goddamn retards. Makes no fucking sense. You complain about everything. But that's the hunting community. But at the same time, this hunting community that's divided like our country, if not more divided than the country, they sit here and they actually have this. It's both a connection and not a connection. They have the perfect reality because they're super close with God, they think, because we're all in a tree, which is literally it's a scientifically proven fact that touching a tree, hugging a tree is healing. It's a fact. You can look it up, I don't give a fuck. But we're constantly in trees, we're constantly in nature. We spend more time in nature, more time scouting, more time touching the ground, the trees, than the majority of people even come outside. Okay? And you see in this hunting community, they're huge on God. The majority of them are huge on God. That's great. I understand where you're coming from. You want to be a good person, but you can be a good person without thinking that you're going to burn in fucking hell for all eternity if you're not. That's stupid. That's just a fear tactic. But you sit here and you see it, and you understand, or at least I understand, I'm super close with nature. I always have been, even whenever I was highly religious, and I was raised in it from a little kid, every Wednesday, every Sunday, constantly going. I've read the entire Bible. I literally won top 5 in the entire state for Bible study. Like, it was a giant convention. Insanity that this was a convention on just knowing what's in the Bible as a kid, but it's what it was. I even have like 2 or 3 medals from it somewhere. Not that they're important to me now, but what happened was I had to learn all this shit early, and then started to understand, hey, I don't feel what you guys are saying at all. But I always said, when I was religious, I always said, I feel God in the woods. That's where I feel my church is. And then that made sense at the time. But as time went on and my mind evolved, I was able to understand, at least to me, y'all don't have to believe me. I don't give a fuck. That's the best part about this country. You don't have to believe me and I don't have to believe you. But to me, I finally understood it wasn't God per se. It wasn't the people or the person or the thing or the deity that everyone else was thinking, whenever they're praise God. I finally come to the realization that the God that I thought I was experiencing was Earth. I was experiencing the literal connection, and I didn't know. I'm trying to link it over here when the link's over here. It's here at our feet. It's literally there. If it's a hot day, get underneath the tree, cool off. It is literally nature's everything. Every animal knows to get underneath the shade tree, not just because the shade creates a barrier from the sun to you. Feel the ground. It's literally cold underneath the tree versus right outside. You go right the shadow line, put your hand on both sides. Not just because the sun's heating it up, but the ground's cooling it underneath. It's bigger, it's badder, it's way more interesting if you actually put thought into it. Don't just think I'm a fucking loon. Because even in my reality, I've even thought, well, maybe I'm crazy. And I've had to really dig and really look and really try to understand and really pay attention to make sure that I don't need to be in a padded room, to make sure that what I'm seeing is the reality that people aren't seeing. We're so brainwashed as human beings that we just believe what we're told most of the time. And then when an actual miracle happens, we give the grace to the wrong thing. We're giving it to something in the sky. We didn't come from the sky. Yeah, this Earth has accumulations from space. When people say there's no life in space, I laugh because we are life in space. So it makes no fucking sense. Obviously these things, meteors and shit, has made its way here. That's slightly affected this ecosystem, slightly affected those animals spread, slightly affecting the next area. Evolution, 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 evolution. This is how animals change. New environment, something drastic happens. You can even go back to like the Ice Age. Say something happens, the polar caps move, now the ice is in a different area, the entire ecosystem is about to change millions of different ways. From the microscopic aspect of every little thing, to the bugs, to the birds, to the rodents, to the deer, to the fucking elk, to the, whatever else you can come up with. They all change slightly, which change is big in the long term. That's why mammoths no longer are mammoths. That's why fucking Irish elk don't exist anymore. These things didn't just appear and then fucking fall off the earth and they're gone. Before these things, they were something else. It's just how it is. I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll always preach it because that's where it is. The reality is in skulls. You can look at any skulls throughout history and just watch them turn into other shit and become different animals. They didn't just disappear. There wasn't just billions of species here that all disappeared. That's not how that worked. Nor do I believe that dinosaurs were 60 million years ago, and carbon dating is bullshit. Because in my opinion, it makes no fucking sense to say something's accurate if there is no way whatsoever to actually prove, because there's no one back then to confirm. There's no way to confirm the age of any of this stuff past what humans have actually seen, felt, and been there for. There's certain ways to do certain things. You can age the rings on deer teeth. You can age the rings on trees. I mean, you can age certain things certain ways, but other things aren't reality. They're an ideology that kind of work, but not really. So I'm not a scientist, but that's my opinion. There's no fact base behind carbon dating. There's no fact base behind 60 million year old dinosaurs. They could be 1 million for all we fucking know. They could be less. They could be 300,000. I don't know if you know anything about bones, but in the real world, they don't last very long. They don't, either a squirrel or something gets at them. The sun itself will take a bone from white to hard white to gray to cracked to pieces to gone. They have to be buried in some form of situation for that to preserve in any way, shape, or form. And then that's where the dirt itself like demineralizes it and turns it into fossil, to rock. So essentially, the majority of species we'll never even know about because they disappear before their bones are ever fossilized in any way, shape, or form. It takes the perfect scenarios for these things to get covered up in sap or sand or tar or something. Even in ice has preserved things. Tons of things like that have been preserved in ice, actually. But the permafrost, for example, tons of things. Tons. I don't even know how they flash. Maybe it was a flash flood, something broke. Tons of things got tumbled and buried, but it froze so fast that they all just didn't even, some of the things didn't even rot. Some things are literally frozen solid. Crazy. But that's just the world that we're at now, where the internet allows us to see everything. If you're able to read it, you can understand a little bit more. Obviously, I'm just some crazy fucking redneck in his garage. You don't have to believe me. Most people are probably fucking unsubscribing just because I'm not religious, which makes no sense. I don't give a fuck if you're religious. I'm trying to enlighten us a little bit because I do believe we're highly misguided on where we should be putting any thankfulness whatsoever. You should be going outside and doing a little better on Earth, doing a little better to Earth, as opposed to just going, thanks, Sky Daddy. It sounds crazy as fuck. That's just it, though. Like, I used to be that way, so I can say this. I've literally watched myself go through it and come back out of it and understood, dude, the craziness that they have to bore in your head for you to believe that shit, and then to get it back out, to unbrainwash yourself, it takes mourning. You actually have to mourn that person. Because if you are a true religious person, then you believe. Well, if you believe, then it's kind of engraved in you at that point, or engraved, however you want to look at it. And, you know, that's just the hard part, is you got to somehow understand that when you come to that reality, that, oh, none of this is what it seemed, well, now you've got to get that out of your mind. And it takes time, because that was a part of you. It was a part of who you were. So it is what it is. You don't have to believe me. I don't give a fuck. But that's that. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place. Super early in the morning. Super cold, actually. I'm sure you can tell by this massive fucking hat. But I've not done a podcast in a while. I've been grinding, hunting. When I'm free, I'm either working on meat, working on paying the bills, or I'm trying to edit a video up. But yeah, so for the most part, I don't have any spare time to do anything else. I've just been grinding. So that's why this podcast is probably weeks from the other podcasts. I don't even know if I'm going to keep any of that. I'm probably just going to delete all the old podcasts and start over new. Basically, like I said, I'm just trying to get away from politics. I'm trying to lean more towards what I have definitive passions about. Obviously, corruption's a problem, so we will still come up a little bit on that shit. We'll talk about it here and there as we feel need. Religion, I just think, is one of those things. We're so misguided on it. Like I said, you don't have to believe me. I'm not forcing anybody. But I will keep putting this out there so some people can maybe just open your mind up a little bit and think about it. You don't have to just gung-ho say, oh, that all makes sense, I'm out. No. Think about it. Decide for yourself. Make up your own mind. You're all a human being. You all have your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own passions. Let them actually think. Let your body think for itself, rather than just letting other humans think for you. Because that doesn't work. One more thing I'd like to touch up on, because I'm about done here, is I worked up nearly $600 just to get kids gifts. We got 5 kids total. If you don't know how this works, Tiffany had 2 boys, I had 2 girls. We had Jacks together, so now we have 5 kids total. Most of the time, the kids are with us. 100% of the time, with an exception of, I don't know, maybe a trip or two in the last 6 years, those boys have been with us the whole time. And then my girls, I have them 5 days a week, which I fought for. For those of you real men out there who want your kids, you want to protect your kids and have them in sight. I fought hard to get my kids 5 days a week. And that wasn't easy, because this state is highly against men. Had to fight dirty, which was literally me just bringing up facts. But got my kids. Now I have them most of the time. So balancing all that, it's been rough. But yeah, so that much money. I even, usually I try to keep it around $100 each kid for Christmas, if not less. We don't have that kind of money to just, oh, here's this and this and this and this. I did it one time. I gave them the Christmas of a lifetime one time, and a lot of it was broken within a week. A lot of it was tossed around, stepped on. They didn't show any more respect for having a really good Christmas versus having a really regular Christmas. So the next one, we dropped back. We had a regular season, a regular holiday. We just gave, I don't know, several gifts to each kid, nowhere near $100 each, I don't think. We just toned it way down. And then this year, we were going, all right, we could barely afford this and that. The bills are crazy high for some reason. It's just been tough, And of course, I worked nearly every single day for 9 months straight so that I could hunt for these 3 months and barely have to take time to work. Now, I still did a ton of work in between there. That's just the reality of this fucking economy we have. But at the end of the day, we decided the kids make no difference on tons of gifts or a little bit of gifts. It's about the same. So we're just going to spend about $50-$60 each. That's kind of where our mindsets were. And the only difference was Mila's birthday is 2 days after Christmas. We celebrate Yuletide, as in the winter solstice, all the way to the last day of the year. The last day of the year is when we do our gifts. That's what we're doing our own tradition. So the last day of Yuletide is what we're looking at it as. We're going to give our kids gifts like it was Christmas Day. So today, Christmas, we are not celebrating it. We did Christmas Eve at my mom's. We did Christmas Eve at her mom's. You know, and they all kept it small. Everybody has kept it small. Everybody I know has kept it as small as possible because we can't afford all these extra things. We can't afford to spoil the kids for one day. We can't afford to do all these extra things that essentially give us a hard month the following month that, you know, you got to pay bills, you got to pay the next month's bills. And if you just spend all your money on your kids who aren't appreciative of any of this shit, well, you turn around and then these bills are a lot harder on you. So we were trying to avoid that, and we were doing all the math and shit, and then it didn't add up somehow. So we get up there, we're doing, you know, checking everything out. The biggest difference is my youngest, he's having nighttime problems, so we had to go back to pull-ups, and it's only at night. It's like he just can't control it. And this is with no liquids before bed. It's just a problem. So we buy pull-ups too, and pull-ups are fucking ridiculous. The cheap box was $30. The other ones, unless you get a really small box, you can get them cheaper. But we needed, you know, I don't like to buy a small box and a small box that costs more than one big box. So we buy one big box. We get up there, nothing adds up. I'm like, whoa, all right, so let's take a couple things off. You know what I mean? Because it was over, and we're starting to create a line. I'm embarrassed as fuck. I hate this shit. I always like to be well prepared. I like to have my money ready. Everything kind of know what I'm doing. So I'm like, all right, let's take this off. That's not enough. Let's take this off. We end up taking like 3 things off. And we're like, we've went this long just having to wash bedclothes. We'll just toss the fucking, you know, get rid of the big box of goddamn big kid diapers. And yeah, I'm just like, all right, it's embarrassing, but let's just get this over with and get out of here. And we get it over with. I start to walk away. I'm like, all right, cool. I think Tiffany's right behind me. I look back. And this lady is sitting there with her. Tiffany's almost in tears. This lady just stepped up and bought all the stuff that we couldn't get for us, helped our Christmas, helped with his nighttime pull-up problem. I mean, I couldn't be more thankful for people like that. Like I said, I was super embarrassed as a person. I like to be better prepared. I don't like to not have money. And I already know like how people view me and how they talk shit. So I'm sitting here like, damn, after I've worked my ass off, I did over 300 tattoos this year, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to have any spare room. I was still having to stop doing any kind of hunting shit, tattoo for a day or two, pay up everything I can, and have any little bit of scratching gas money I could come up with. And this is saying something, because everywhere I hunt is really close. Like, really close. The furthest place I hunt, and especially not when I'm having trying times, is 10 or 15 miles from here. So for the most part, I'm like 1 or 2 miles from the house. And I'm like, you know, I'm embarrassed because I'm sitting here thinking, all right, some people that know me are like, this fucking idiot is out here struggling to pay for gifts, but he's out here hunting. Like, no, fuck y'all, dude. I've worked my ass off. I don't get a break. My kids, there's fucking 5 of them. Try running a household of 5 children on a single income while also trying to still accomplish a goal and a dream in life that you can't just give up because you only have that time period. Deer season isn't in the rest of the year. It's only in right there. So that's another reason I get real frustrated with the grind if I'm having a real tough season, because I've already did all this work so that I don't have to work as much. I still have to work, but I don't have to work as much so that I can do this other passion of mine that I'm hoping one day is going to be my main goal, my main shit. I just want to film hunts for a living. You know what I mean? Like, that's been my goal since I was a little kid. It's probably never going to change. My family doesn't suffer because of it. They actually get a ton of free meat. Not free. I, obviously have to pay for it. They get the experience. They all got to hunt. All the kids absolutely love being on YouTube. they're huge fans of themselves. So, I mean, there's a lot of positives and little negatives, but I let those negatives get in the back of my head, and I was just super embarrassed, didn't like it, but yeah, I'm more than grateful. I can't even express it for someone to step up and to save our ass in that moment. I mean, it was still super embarrassing for me. I don't like handouts. I really don't. I'm the kind that if you're going to do something for me, I want to do something for you, and vice versa. Like if I'm doing something for you, I would expect someday, not immediately, but that person to reciprocate in some way. And I don't expect it in an asshole kind of way. I expect it as that's mutual. As humans, that's what we're supposed to do. That's how trading became a thing, and that's how the World Trade Center became a thing. Then currency, because they wanted to get rid of trading, because then the government can have sole involvement in this. So yeah, that was an issue. It was a problem. Like I said, I'm super grateful. Whoever that person is, we didn't even catch her name. Somebody out there, I'm sure she's mentioned it to somebody, maybe even just a husband or something. But I hope someone sees this, and I hope someone's able to let her know we are super appreciative of every little penny she spent on us and our kids. And it just, I don't know, it's something I can't express. Just gratitude. I'm very thankful. Thank you for just being a good person. There's not enough good people out there anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I've done things like that here and there over my lifetime, little things, and I always felt like, you know, pay it forward, maybe it'll come back on you. And in that situation, maybe not, you know, because maybe that wasn't any kind of, you know, energy coming back to us. Maybe it was just luck. But, you know, it feels good that people are still good. And it didn't seem like at the time any of those people in line were judging me. There was actually a lady behind, I think she actually might have helped because she had grandchildren. She said something to Tiffany about having grandchildren. She wanted to help. So I think she helped too. So thank you to that lady also. Yeah. And I think the guy behind her ended up buying some of her stuff, and it kind of created a little chain reaction, which I'm a huge fan of. I've seen that play out. Actually, 2 Taco Bells, one in Bloomington, one in Bedford. In Bloomington as a kid, I seen one situations, me and my mom, this guy comes up, pays for our meal. We're like, whoa, hey, what's up? You know, and he's just like, just pay it forward. So I want to say mom paid for someone else's stuff. And then years later, I was in Taco Bell in the line. Somebody in front of me paid for my stuff. So I paid for the stuff behind me. Hopefully that kept going. You know what I mean? Like, good deeds should be a chain reaction of good deeds. I think that we need that as a community. Our community we're so torn, we're so opinionated, we're so judgmental these days. I think it's really good to see people step up, especially when a situation like this where it was for kids, you know, none of this stuff. The only thing I got in that entire cart, over $600, was batteries. That's the only thing I bought for myself besides a deer tag, actually besides my deer bundle in October. I don't know if I've even bought anything for myself. Like, that's just the reality of being an adult when you don't have a whole lot of money. Like, we don't have millions to go buy this and buy that or toys. We don't have motorcycles. We don't have four-wheelers. We don't have ATVs. None of that. We just have a normal life with our little land, our home, our garage, and our passion for the outdoors. We love hunting and fishing, and, you know, that's reality. That's the real reality. Not clubbing, you know, not parties, not hanging out with a bunch of friends and all this shit. Real reality is just being super satisfied with the stuff you have. I'd like to have more acreage so I could not have permission on places and just be able to hunt my own place, but, you know, I'd even like maybe some acreage so the kids could actually have four-wheelers in the future. I always wanted a four-wheeler as a kid. My dad had one. I got to ride here and there. I had a motorcycle at one point till my cousin Joseph cut it up with a knife whenever I was like 10 or 11. I don't know. This kid's grandma watched him do it. But, yeah, nobody fixed that for me. It's the kind of reality we had as poor people. Like, I saved up $700 as an 8 or 9-year-old kid, bought my own motorcycle and helmet, paid for my own gas, all that shit, for a cousin to tear it up because he didn't like me at the moment. because that's just how he was, how he is. This kid's in and out of jail for beating women and doing drugs. But, yeah, this kid's a fucking nut job. And he sits there and destroyed my only motorcycle that I've ever had as a kid. Only dirt bike, I should say. It was a dirt bike. Little DR Suzuki, fucking 1990s or some shit like that, or 80s. It was old. But, yellow. I had a moose sticker, you know, the little big buff moose. Had that on the front of it. Loved it. That was like my pride and joy. Taken away from me. Wasn't paid for. He kinked my gas line and everything. I ended up having to sell it for $100 because I couldn't fix any of it. I didn't know any of that stuff. My dad wasn't fixing any of it. He didn't know how to work on motorcycles either. So it was a huge bummer. And from then I never recovered. I never got another motorcycle. I never got a four-wheeler. So I want in the future to have land, whether it's YouTube or product or something. I've got a ton of things that once I get a little bit more money, I can actually start amping up. But in the future, I want that for my kids. I want them to be able to ride trails and have fun and go mudding and all that shit in a safe environment. But it's not reality right now. We live in the tail end of Bidenverse, and I hope we were all right, and I hope Trump is going to fix this economy. It's a stretch. I know there's a lot of sacks of shit out there saying he's not fixing nothing, but he did a great job the last time, and I think he'll fix a lot of this mess. So hopefully we'll get past this. And then one day, in the future, hopefully near, the kids can have more than just this little place to play. This has been a good talk. Different kind of podcast, I would assume. I'm just mostly winging it out here alone. I've had a few people offer to be out here, but I also don't want to have anybody that is completely ignorant on here. I've seen some podcasts, they have some absolute dumbasses on there, and they don't have shit to say. They don't have any reality. They're just drug addicts and dumbasses and dipshits. Ton of fucking dipshits, man. And that's the problem with the world. I see this way too often. Our society is going downhill because dumb people are raising dumb people are raising dumber people. Those dumber people are becoming adults. Those adults are running shit into the ground that ran fine 15, 20 years ago. And it's just, we're losing it. Like Bedford North Lawrence school system, their bus ordeal is absolutely ridiculous. We finally put a face on it. Oh, let's do this. Story time. We put a face on the person who talked shit on the phone when we called because the bus driver refused to come down the hill and pick up my child from the end of the driveway, which is already over 100 yards from our house. The majority of that distance is up and over the hill where we cannot see them on a main highway with a store right there. And they wanted my daughter, who's 12 years old, okay, this is how crazy it is, wanted my 12-year-old daughter to walk alone at 6:40 in the morning, because for some fucked up reason, kids got to go to school at 6:40 in the morning. They wanted her to walk all the way up the hill and stand by a busy highway next to a business. Are you fucking insane? In this reality, with all the shit happening, with all the illegals up here, with all the pedos and shit, you want me to send my kid up there? Or you want me to drive them and wait on you? So you want me to distract my day, whether I had something to do, whether I had a job to go to, whatever. You didn't give a fuck. You just wanted us to go up here one way, shape, or form, and you not come down the hill that bus drivers have come down for 30 plus years, if not 40 plus years. No. That was a problem from the get-go, and we called and called and called, and we finally got this lady, and Tiffany was talking to her, and she was being disrespectful, mouthy as hell. So I grabbed the phone and started talking, and she instantly knew my name. Instantly knew my fucking name, okay? These people who have not answered the phone, we never even gave them our name, and they know my name. That means our number is on a list with a pretty much don't answer, which means dipshits who are in charge of my children aren't going to fucking answer the phone when I call. You want to piss off a parent? Because I'll kick in the fucking door and beat your ass. That's the problem we have with this shit. We got these motherfuckers sitting here acting like they can talk down on you, acting like they're better than you, and then come to find out, this person, here's where the story comes in, is married, here it goes, to somebody who is like 12 years older than me, who, when I fucking very first started getting into filming, I had no idea anyone else around here was even filming hunts. No idea. We had my team, which had 3 or 4 guys on it maybe, and then we found out that this other group was out here talking shit about my videos, about me, and then they'd have little team meetings where they would literally just be obsessed with beating me at hunting. Like, what the fuck is that? Why was a grown fucking man, over a decade older than me, obsessed with being better than me to the point that he had team meetings where his own teammates were weirded out? His own teammates come and told me this shit. His own little hunting group was like, dude, this guy's obsessed with you. That's all he talks about. He has little team meetings where he brings you up. It's like, dude, who the fuck is this guy? Why the fuck does he have a problem with me? What the fuck? So I now had a problem with somebody who I've never met. I didn't know why the fuck they had a problem with me. And then I start to have a problem with them, because if you're going to sit here and do all this shit and you're going to think it doesn't bother me. I was young, I was immature, I let it bother me. And it pissed me off to my core. I was finally like saying shit. I would catch them doing, like, copycatting me, talking shit. And then find out that this lady who is pulling this bullshit is married to that fucking dude. This fucking fat piece of shit who was completely obsessed with hating me or being better than me or whatever the fuck he was doing. Like I gave a fuck who he was, with his old boys outdoors, which has what? How many fucking people are named that, dude? Get on fucking Facebook and type it in. Tons of people have the same name. And this guy, who I've tried to be nice to, I've tried to be cool with, I've even tried to, like, offer to go hunting, a couple times over the course of, I don't know, like 15 years ago, I think is roughly when this all started. This dude's insane. This is like some local firefighter or something. I don't know, he's way the fuck too fat to be fighting fires. The floor will cave in if it ain't even on fire. But this motherfucker made my early years of filming stressful as fuck. Starting shit with me. Like I said, his friends, his people on his team were telling me this. They would come and be like, hey, he's obsessed. He just does all this. He says this. He has team meetings about you, how to beat you, and how to be better than you. And it's like, dude, I'm just some fucking random redneck kid who just wants to hunt and film what he loves to do, and you're over here hating on me and obsessing and talking all this shit to your little fucking hillbillies in the middle of nowhere. Your loser fucking friends, all of them. I don't give a fuck anymore. After finding out this bitch was married to that bitch, and then she's gonna fucking come up being the problem I'm having with the school system, nah, dude. This was a conflict of interest through her hating me because he hated me for some reason, even though I've been nothing but nice to these pieces of shit. Been once or twice I finally was like, dude, fuck you. This motherfucker had the nerve, and maybe this is unfactual, but a cousin of this girl's kids, because the father passed away and they got like insurance money, told me himself they bought a bunch of guns and shit and like ATV and a house, and he was like, I'm glad they bought a house for the kids, but all the other toys and shit that they bought for him off of his cousin dying pissed him off. So why the fuck you think the rest of the world just didn't notice? Like, I didn't give a fuck, but he told me, and then this person already had problems with me, so yeah, now that I have something, I'll bring it up. This dude literally used a bunch of money to advance himself in life from a dead man. And he was acting like, oh, my kid's this, my kid. I said, they're not your kids. They're not. There's somebody else's kids who's passed away, and you just came in and sucked up all the fucking extra money that came from his death. Whether it's true or not, it was told by their cousin. I'm guessing it's true. But this dude, the fucking audacity to be picking on somebody way younger than you who's just getting started in this shit. I was a very young man. I didn't know people started beefs over fucking filming deer hunting. But I guess if that's all you got to fucking do with your life, you're already at his age, completely pathetic, not going anywhere, not doing anything great. He thinks he's this fucking fantastic person. Dude, you guys are both terrible people. I thought, oh, all this shit was in the past. I've been friendly. I've waved at them, waved at their kids. And then come to find out, this motherfucker was starting shit underneath the table, and I didn't even know who she was. And then when it came to light, because a Facebook post, I seen her name come across it, fighting for that exact fucking transportation situation. I was like, oh, that's the Stacy. And I started laughing, and I said, Tiffany, that's the chick that's married to the dude who was obsessed with just hating me and being better than me when I was a kid. This guy's like, he's in his 40s, maybe pushing 50s. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm 33 years old. We're talking about 10, 15 years ago. This is how fucking pathetic this dude was. So that's why I'm bringing it up now. I'm tired of this shit. These people having these little problems with me, so they create problems with my child. You're creating, it was a financial problem, because now I had to use a bunch of gas, because a lot of the times he wasn't up there when we got up there, and I had to bring my kid all the way to town, which is over 10 miles away from here, and back, obviously, out of my way, taking my gas money. There was even a time she was running behind the bus, hitting the side, and he kept going. So as a parent, that should piss you off. I'm well aware the majority of people don't give a fuck what other people go through, but reality is I went through this. I had to deal with this. I lost money because of this, right in the middle of all this shit, of all this working my ass off so that I didn't have to work so much during deer season. It's caused me more problems. And come to find out they could have been avoided if the person wasn't favoring the dipshit bus driver, who has been made fun of by other bus drivers for not doing this route, by the way. And she's favoring this guy. She had the audacity to tell us to put in an application. Do your fucking route, you lazy fucking twerp. This guy's like 125 pounds, 45 years old looking, pathetic. Was afraid to do a turnaround that 90-plus-year-old fucking bus driver's done my whole life. Old farmers, bro. Old-ass farmers who didn't have any fucking teeth could do this, but you couldn't. Hate to break it to you, but you're just a dipshit in an adult's body. Same thing with that fat fuck. His name's Kyle, by the way. I hope you fucking see this. I'm so goddamn tired of you people. I overlooked it. I fired back a time or two over the years. I even tried to put it in my past and just, it is what it is back then, but then it came back up. And then the connection, the motherfuckers were married. These motherfuckers both causing problems with me in their 40s or 50s, whatever the fuck they're in, and they're fucking losers. They're fucking losers. Nobodies. They did nothing. Name one great thing you've done, bitch. Fucking useless. I get so tired of this shit. This podcast was supposed to be over already, to be honest with you, but that story's worth telling. Because people like that exist. People like that, for some reason, stir the pot with people that don't even know them. They stir the pot because they're married to the dipshit that don't like you. It's a conflict of interest. Truthfully, I hope you mouth off in person, you big dumb bitch. I'm so fucking tired of people like you. You got no balls. You wanted to run my name into the dirt with your little group. Where's your group now? You're a bunch of jealous fucking losers. I'm still grinding out, still putting out better and better and better videos. Every video gets better. Every video is more entertaining. And I don't give a fuck about you. Not one of my videos am I like, old boys outdoors are fucking gay. You're fucking stupid. I've never once had a team meeting where I was like, hey everybody, we gotta think of how to outdo this guy. Makes no fucking sense. It's like you live in this Facebook world, even back then, that you thought, oh, I'm gonna start shit with another group because that'll make my group better. What fucking reality is that? We're not hunting the same properties. We're not hunting the same deer. We're not filming with the same equipment. We don't have the same people. What reality do you live in that it makes sense to start shit with someone for no fucking reason? Go fuck yourself. Fucking lard ass. But yeah, just irritating. I get so tired of this kind of shit. And that's what's wrong with humanity, is you have people, just because they're married, starting shit with you in your past and in your present. Don't know either one of them. Don't give a fuck about either one of them. And I hope you grow the fuck up, because all this is going to come to light one way, shape, or form. And I'm glad it came up in a way that I can bring it up, because I've not fucking bitched about this for years. I've not gave a fuck. I put it in my past where it fucking belonged. In fact, it didn't even belong there. You should mind your own fucking business and just been hunting and minding your own business. I was hunting and minding my own business, but you wanted to mind mine. Now your fucking name got brought up, pussy. That's the reality of the world we live in. And they're going to fire back at some point. They'll probably message me, running their mouth, but they ain't going to show up. I'm sick of you people. Get your fucking heads out of your ass. Stop fucking with people, because my 12-year-old daughter didn't deserve any of that. I didn't deserve any of that at 21, 22, 23, whatever it was. So fuck you. You're a fucking loser. You're pathetic. Anywho, till the next time, appreciate everybody who actually watches, everybody who's liked and subscribed to our videos. I appreciate everybody who watches our hunting videos. If you watch my podcast, thank you. I believe it's one of the most entertaining bullshit podcasts out there. I ain't talking about fucking most pop culture, but, you know, I talk about what needs to be talked about. And for the most part, when people are in my presence and we are talking, they're right here. They're fully in agreement of everything I'm saying. Rarely is somebody like, oh, well, I think different. And then it would be like, okay, well, explain your side and I'll explain my side, and we'll either come to an agreement or we won't. But we don't argue over it, because it doesn't fucking matter. We can move on. So, appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Hope to see y'all in the next one. And with any luck, I'll have a buck down here real soon. So, stay tuned.